Om Namo Sri Bhagavate Pranavaya. Om Namo Sri Bhagavate Pranavaya. Tumhi Brahma Vishnu, Tumhi Maheshwara, Devadi Deva Mahadevaya Namah. Om Namo Sri Bhagavate Pranavaya. Om Namo Sri Bhagavate Pranavaya. Namo Namah, Namo Namah, Namo Namah, Namo Namah. Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya, Namo Namah. Om Namo Sri Bhagavate Pranavaya. Om Namo Sri Bhagavate Pranavaya. Tumi Harihara He Trishuladhari, Tumi Bholanatha Prabhu Krishna Murari, Niti Navarupe So Pranavananda, Eshur Hidai Murchiru Ananda. Om Namo Sri Bhagavate Pranavaya. Om Namo Sri Bhagavate Pranavaya. We bring in the Guru and we say, you are the creator, you're the sustainer, you are the destroyer. You're Brahma, you're Vishnu, you're Shiva. Yes, because when all these, when consciousness manifests itself, they're all the same. And we see that in Swami Parameshananda ji. And let us bring in all these great gurus this morning so that they could guide us, they could lift us up, calling their name. It's so important. Let us bring in Krishna and Lord Shiva and Mother Durga. And let us bring in the Buddha and the Christ. And whatever guru you worship that has manifested itself from consciousness, then bring that into your presence. Because we need them to lift ourselves up. We can't do it by ourselves. This is the greatness of consciousness. Well, this morning, so many things are happening. But if we get caught up in assimilating our thoughts, how we can maneuver on this mundane world, naturally we'll get caught up in it. And that will bring us sorrow and misery. So it is wise for us then for lift ourselves up to a higher level. And this will be so great. So this morning, yesterday I went and I saw the Murti of Sri Chinmay. He's lying on the ground there. And I was talking how reminiscent I was of Swami Parameshananda ji, go visiting Bajitpur, Bangladesh, and see his body lying in the white box, 6 feet down inside. His body is lying down inside the temple, and at his head side is where he had sat and he had got realization in that thatch shed way back in 1970. But we have built a mandir over it, and this is where it was a place of pilgrimage. And going to Sri Chinmay place, he has got so many disciples, and Bengal has produced so many great souls. So these are the being at the right place at the right time, and I think being here in this place, next to this pond with the sun coming up so beautifully and brightly. Let us pay adoration to the sun, because the sun is going to remove that darkness from us. Asatoma satkamaya, tamasoma jyotirgamaya, mrityurmamritam gamaya, abhiravi maidi. That also, Narayan, lift that darkness of ignorance. It is not a physical thing, but it's something that when we anchor ourselves and put attention and importance to this worldly life, yes, we have to assimilate our thoughts and let our intellect guide us properly. But that's just to transcend this mundane, the lower nature of God. We have to transcend it in this life and lift ourselves up to that point where we become God-like. We return to where we came from, that consciousness. So let's do adorations to Surya Narayan. Om Bhurabhuva Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Naha Prachodayat. Om Bhurabhuva Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Naha Prachodayat. Om Bhurabhuva Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Naha Prachodayat. Keep this picture in your mind, that there is the sun 93 million miles away, blazing hot, unbelievable temperatures, and that sun, which is like 188 times bigger than Mother Earth, is keeping all the planets, the Navgraha, in their orbits. How powerful it is. And that's why we worship the sun, because it gives us the heat and it gives us the light that we can see. Here it is coming up, beautiful in the morning. It's so nice to look at. And you know, when I was growing up, parents will say, wake up before the sun rises and greet it, because then you will get the blessings. Because if you sleep when the sun is coming, then you're showing disrespect. Also, let us pay adoration to the Mother Earth, because Mother Earth, she's sustaining us. We get all our nourishment from Earth, Mother Earth, and water. Look at the ducks passing by there. You saw them there just now. Nature. And we want to pay adhesions to water, because our body is made up of 80% of water. And then if we don't drink enough water, this is what is causing a lot of disease in our body. Because every day we have to consume like 2 liters of water, 1 gallon of water. If we don't do that, then all kinds of unusualness will happen to the body. So remember, always consume like 1 gallon of water every day and do some exercise. You know, this morning I was listening, reading little Gita, chapter 4, like verse 62 and 61. And it says that our innate nature is the cause for our suffering. That this rajasic quality in us, it drives us to want to perform action, do things, not necessarily for the welfare of the world or in collaboration with consciousness, God, but we do this for our selfish reason, to acquire name and fame and wealth, and in the process, and enjoyment. And in the process of that, we get greed, anger, and lust. And this is the triple gateway to hell. But when we do the yoga, when you get up in the morning before the mind gets entangled with all the worldly things, you start out with this tamasic nature where you're laziness in the body. But when you start doing the exercise like Surya Namaskar, adorations to Surya Namaskar, the 12 poses, when you start doing that, you enter into the rajasic state. The mind is active, the body is active, but in a controlled environment, because you're thinking about the asanas you're doing. And then when you go to the relaxation after the strenuous and building up a power, willpower, then you lie down on your back, and then you could see that tranquility of the sattvic nature, and it transcends. And then when you exit your body, you go into earth atmosphere, you leave your body behind, and you go into space. And space is so small when it compares to consciousness. When you exit space, you go into consciousness. But consciousness is all pervading, omnipotent, all powerful, omnipresent, all over the place, in every atom of creation, and omniscient, all-knowing. So this morning, when I'm speaking to you like this, you heard this before, but in these times, it's good that you hear this over and over, because if we can transcend the 3 basic natures, our laziness, our overactiveness, and our goodness, and then we go into that place of consciousness. And This Swami Parameshananda of BHARAT SEVASHRAM saying, he would have instructed his monk disciples and also lay devotees that you have to follow this path of seva. That when you want to purify your mind, you do for others, you collaborate with the Guru, and then when you go to him and you meditate on him, then he's going to give you that transmitted knowledge. Just like the saints, the original saints and sages, when they came into this, when they were sitting there in meditation, they would have got that knowledge directly, and we call that the Vedas. We are also in the position of getting that direct transmission of knowledge. Why don't we take advantage of it and get that transmission? We are at BHARAT SEVASHRAM Sheng. And Buddhism also, the Buddha has shown us how to get to that state through his austerity. And the Christ also, he has the Christ, you meditate on the Christ. Because when you do meditate on the scriptures, really, they're the writings of and interpretations and understanding of human beings, the saints. There is some distortion, but when you go directly to meditate on Swami Parameshananda, you're meditating on consciousness manifested. The same thing with the Buddha and the Christ and Krishna and Mother Durga and Lord Shiva. Here's that lingam over there. And this morning I'm standing here because I want you to see the beauty of the sun as it comes up. And this is what this will keep us energized and be happy for the rest of the day. So this morning, take that message, try to be in a relationship with God directly. We have been listening to the scriptures and reading them, and now it's time for us to go to the higher level of doing meditation, purify ourselves to service to humanity, and then we'll get that direct transmission. Oh, how beautiful it is. And then in this lifetime, we'll be in that blissful state in this human body. Oh, what a beautiful thing it is. I can attest to that because Swami Parameshananda's got me all over the world. There's no limitations. My mind has transcended limitations. The consciousness is expanded in all directions. I find myself to be a far greater person than I ever thought to be. Why? Because the Guru is doing this. And dormant forces, faculties, and talents have come alive. This is the description of a person in relationship, in being in consciousness. So our prayer should be, oh God, help me to rediscover. Oh Swami Parameshananda, oh Krishna, help me to rediscover I'm just like you. The possibility is there. I have to believe in that. I'm not this body, I'm not this mind, I'm not this intellect and this ego. I am consciousness. Hari Om, Shanti, Shanti, Hari Om. Have a beautiful day and think that we are all gods and goddesses. Don't be satisfied with living an ordinary, mundane life, suffering and having pleasures, seeking pleasures for the body, or accumulating wealth to name in this lifetime. Hari Om, Shanti, Shanti, Hari Om. Let us do some meditation. Om Sri Guru Shivaya Namah. 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 Hari Om, Shanti, Shanti, Hari Om.